So I've slacked this out. Everyone should have this method working. All we really have to do now is, since we're rendering an ERB results page with the final results, let's go ahead and just handle that. Let's go into our views page and let's create a new file called results.erb. And I'm going to introduce some embedded Ruby tags really quickly, which are going to look a little funky at first, and then you're going to get used to them, and they're going to be greatness. Let me zoom back in, come back in. Okay. And the first thing we can do is there are two types of embedded Ruby tags. The first type of embedded Ruby tag looks like this. It's a funky little percentage sign. The second type of embedded Ruby tag looks like this. There are these funky percentage signs with an equal sign. I'm going to be using both of them right now, and we'll talk about what each one does as we go through them. Now, in this case, again, we should probably write out our generic HTML boilerplate, but because I'm so over time, and I don't want to take any more time away from the fantastic Jolson, I'm just going to actually just do these for the time being and just iterate over the @final results variable, which is passed to this template in our application controller. What we're going to do is we're going to say for each one, for each pair, do, or is it the other way around? Is it do then pair? Can't remember in Ruby. Do pair, my bad.
It's the one grammatically.
So funky, but there we go. And then I'm going to end it right here. Now you'll notice this looks exactly like Ruby, except we're writing it inside our HTML. So anytime you want to write Ruby that doesn't actually appear on the page, you use these open bracket percentage sign tags. Anytime you want the Ruby to actually appear on the page, you're going to use these right here, which I'm about to show you right now. Here is we're taking this nested array and we're saying for each mini array inside the nested, inside the big array, we want to display pair 1 or pair 0 and pair 1 are giving gifts to each other. Let's go ahead and wrap that. View wrap, and let's surround it with H3 tags just so it displays nicely. And this right here is called iteration. Iteration is where you do something to every single item in a list. Now we're saying for each pair, the first item in the pair and the second item in the pair are giving gifts to each other. Now obviously this doesn't do exactly what a gift giver app does. I would show you how to, again, the more complicated version next, but if we just save this, let's see if this works, because I don't even know if this is going to work yet. I might have messed something up in my code. I am not 100% sure if it's going to work, but we're about to find out, and that's the fun part. So in our gift giver application, let's just say me, you, them, us, somebody else. That's 4, 5, 6 for Shakira. Let's submit it and see what happens. Shakira and me are giving gifts to each other. Us and somebody else are giving gifts to each other. You and them are giving gifts to each other. We have a working gift giver application. Ta-da! Fantastico. All of that in a little bit over time. Jeff Olson, I apologize deeply from the bottom of my heart. And again, my challenge to you is, instead of having people give gifts to each other, have the pairs give one person, give to another person, and that person gives to a different person, and that person gives to a different person, that person gives to a different person, etc. That would be a real gift giver application or a real Secret Santa app. But this is just to give you an idea of how we would use logic to provide value to our end users. The user enters an input, we transform that data in some way and hand them back something that is valuable to them. Now these ERB tags take a little getting used to. So if you haven't played around with them a lot yet, do so. And there's a bunch of different ways to do that, and we will do this more in the next iteration of our Sinatra application. So I will paste this code into Slack as well, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Just to follow the flow of data, it goes from our index.erb, our view, is passed to our application controller in the post results route, which is then passed to our model in the giftgiver.rb file, which is then passed back to our controller as a final result variable, instance variable, which is then passed back to a new view called results.erb, which then renders that data as an HTML template. So this model view controller architecture is being followed pretty effectively. We're going view 1 to controller to model to controller to view 2. And you'll see that pretty much in every modern Sinatra style application in existence today. Thank you all for being great students. And I will paste this code into Slack right now.